finally got the block back from the machine shop. They didn't have to end up machining the main. They end up measuring it with straight edge that you would use for the mains. I think if I remember correctly, it's a round, like long cylinder, and they can check to see if any of them are distorted and not in line with each other. They said they didn't need to line bore it. The cam bore was good. I had them power hone, so they torqued down like a simulated cylinder head where it's got the holes in it, so they can get the hone in. And you can see there's still some stuff, but it's a lot better than what I could do on my own. All of it looks, I mean, it looks like a brand new block. I already knocked in some freeze plugs. I got those. I got all along here, four on each side, and one in the back on each side. I still have these to do, and I believe that one for the high pressure. I'll have to double check just to be sure. And right now I'm going to put in the main bearings and might even do the cam bearings. I don't know. We'll see what we get around to. I want to take my time, follow the installation. I'm going to have to probably go and put the main bearings in. I can measure with my bore gauge, and also I think I have plastic gauge. I think I have small enough plastic gauge. So we may do both sides just so you guys can see it. So hopefully I can document everything and show you guys how to do this. Okay, we're going to install the cam bearings, and I can't tell any difference between any of them. I compared them to the old ones, and they all have, I don't know if you can see that, a 1N21-1 on there. Each one of them has it. Each one looks the same. They all look identical. The only thing I can think of is it has contents and the number there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And since I'm reading this here, I'd imagine this one's 1. So to me, 1 would be at the front, 5 would be at the back. So that's how I'm going to install them. I'm going to install number 5 first. What I'm going to do is mark on the inside of the block. That way I know where the oil galley starts and ends. I'm trying to get that bearing right in the center. can see up in there that oil galley is almost perfect. There's no overlap at all. If you look, it looks pretty even from both sides. And you see where I marked there. Okay, now that we did the cam bearings, we have to install the piston coolant jets, and I've already installed 6 of them just to get them done. But you can see right down here those 2 little holes. So these are the that's obviously the cylinder. These are the lifter journals, and one's the bolt hole, this side's the actual hole that feeds the jet. There you can get a good look at it. And it's fed off the lifter oil journal. These get torqued to 10 foot-pounds. And the bolts are supposed to have blue Loctite on them. Got the crank in. What I'm going to do now is check. I'm going to use plastigauge to check the clearance on the bearings. And they just polished it up. The crank was actually in pretty good shape. Not pretty good shape, it was in good shape. I mean, it had some wear on the bearings, but they said everything measured out good. What I did have them do, because I personally haven't seen it on any trucks. I've seen timing concerns, but what happens is supposedly this tone ring will shift on the crank, and so I had them weld there. I believe they welded right there. I think they welded on the other side too. So now that can't go anywhere, because when that gets out of whack, even though it's gear driven back here to the cam gear, that may not actually get out of time. It thinks it's out of time because it's reading, the tone ring is reading in a different spot. So I have 2 different kinds of plastigauge. I have this, which this goes to 0.001 to 0.003 inches, or 0.025 to 0.076. And then I have other plastigauge, some red. It goes from 0.018 millimeters to 0.045 millimeters. So it reads a much tighter tolerance, the red does. And the spec is on this is 0.020 millimeters to 0.086 millimeters. So that kind of falls in both range. I'd like it to be tighter on the tight side, so let's try. I'm going to try the red on a couple, and I'm going to try the green on a couple. Hey, I'm going to end the video here. Next video, we're going to read the plastigauge, make sure the crank bearings clearance is within spec, and we're going to install the cam. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the video. Like, comment, and if you would consider subscribing, I'd appreciate it. Thanks a lot.